just getting going, so starting off on a fairly quiet note for now. I want to make sure that everything's working before we get too far ahead of schedule here. If you're just joining us and have never been here before, let me welcome you to Weather Overtime. This is our online video weather blog, giving you the opportunity to stop by and take a look and see what is happening in the world of weather. We mainly cover the area of News 12. We are coming to you live and direct from Chattanooga, Tennessee. We've got the chat function open on Twitch and on YouTube. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them into the comments section. We'd love to hear from you, no matter where you're coming in from. So just give us an idea as to where that might be, and we'll say hi to you. It is, again, Thursday the 19th. We are running out of the summer season. 2 days and change until we get into autumn. Unfortunately, at this time, it's doubtful that we're going to be seeing any cooler temperatures anytime soon. Yes, we are in that phase between summer and winter, or we will be soon, but unfortunately, we do not have much going on where it comes to the potential of any cooler weather. That often happens at this time of the year, so we do not see anything right now. We'll have more on your 7-day forecast coming up in just a little bit. Thanking very much the folks who came down from Dunlap, Tennessee in the homeschool group in and around that area, and from Ms. Sarah Harvey for getting together with Amelia Greer, one of our news anchors here at News 12, and our news director, Dutch Terry, to organize a tour of the studio, which happened today. So hopefully everybody from the Dunlap homeschool group had a good time up here for today. I have to say to the young man who drew, this picture here, thank you very much for bringing this along. I completely and totally share the sentiment on here of I Heart Clouds. It's one of my favorite topics. For the young man who left this behind, if you want this back, let us know and we'll ship it off to you. But thank you very much to the Dunlap, Tennessee homeschool group for coming in and giving us a look over here for today. Had several students, several adults in here taking a look around while I led the tour. So hopefully everybody had a good time. So thank you very much for coming. And again, thank you very much for a very cool hand-drawn sign there. For the rest of the forecast, there will be some clouds, but not a lot. Let's go ahead and hop into everything for tonight and give you an idea as to what is going on. Thank you very much, News 12 viewer Tracy Milliken from Eastridge, Tennessee, of some Canada geese taking a look at jumping into a puddle for a little bit at a local mall. So those can be some very cranky birds. I learned my lesson on that back in Memphis, so that is something, if at all possible, to give a wide berth to. We got the goose, no idea what happened to the gander. Numbers, again, in the next few days, we'll talk about in just a little bit. Pictures at WDEF.com. If you have photos to submit for the picture of the day, more information, again, you can drop them here. You can drop them to our website. You can go to our social media pages and drop them there. We are kind of running low, so we could use some more pictures over the next few days. So go ahead and send us some new ones if you have those available to you. We did not pick up any rainfall. We are now over 10.5 inches below normal for the entire year in Chattanooga. We were way above normal and came within 7 degrees of a record high temperature that was set 101 years ago. That, again, we'd like to get rid of that as soon as possible, but not seeing any good news where the temperatures are concerned. Likewise, we need to get some rainfall in here. We have seen some very dry days, and we really need to get a change in here at sometime soon. Because we are, again, this is dangerous weather for agriculture, for horticulture, and also, again, for anybody involved in doing any outdoor activities that could involve the possibility of wildfires. So for right now, this is what it is looking like. The United States Drought Monitor issues their forecast and updated information every Thursday. So this is the latest that you can see here again from northeast Alabama, extreme northwest Georgia, and back up into parts of the Tennessee River Valley. We are now in a 4 out of 5 extreme drought situation. It's not like we haven't been here before, but we also have, again, a need for a lot more rainfall coming up. It would take us, as of right now, give or take, there's about 9 weeks left in the year. We would need to get about an inch worth of rain into the course of the next several weeks just to break even, just by the end of the year, just to get to where we should be, about 55 inches. And as an added problem, we are heading into one of the driest months of the year. October is typically the lowest point of the year for precipitation around here. So not seeing any good news here at this time. Wish we had some better news, because it really doesn't seem to be shaping up for a good soaking anytime soon, and it looks like it's going to be staying that way for a while. Let's take a look outside and see how things are looking out there. Island Cove Marina and Resort on the EPB Fiber Optics Weather Cam network. 79 degrees, some clouds out there, but not really too much at the top of the hour. Calm winds and a little higher on the humidity, but otherwise not doing too bad for now. Temperatures across the area, we are back into the 70s and a couple of 80s showing up. Some very nice 60s into western North Carolina. Beautiful conditions there. And for most of the rest of the region, it has been very toasty. 90s back to our west today, and more of that coming our direction into the next several days. So for right now, not bad. In the next few days, wish we could say that we had any good news. We've got not much going on at this time, less in the way of any storm systems going on through. So for the next few days, outside of a stray shower or two, which you can see over parts of the Appalachians, there's really not that much going on. This is a decently potent system over parts of the upper Midwest and back into the north central United States. But the main energy of this storm system is going back to the north and to the east. So for right now, that's going to be intersecting Hudson Bay in Canada, not going to be helping us. So this front might drop its way north of us, which may irritate some showers out of the atmosphere back to our north. I don't think we're going to be seeing too much of anything in the semi-near future. Next week, there's a possibility, but I just don't really see too much of anything lining up. So by Friday morning, we start off with temperatures in the 60s and lower 70s. We may see a very toasty afternoon with some highs going back into the lower 90s. School getting out tomorrow, we'll talk about that. Friday night football, that is where we could see some very hot conditions as we go into the games. Temperatures will recede a little bit as we get into the kickoff period of time after sunset. 60s and 70s for Saturday morning. There's our front dropped just to the north of us out there. By Saturday afternoon, lower to mid 90s on this side of this warm front, warm air pushing its way back to the north. Again, that is the best we can do, and that is where we see the best potential of showers and thunderstorms as we go into Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, we see temperatures back in the lower to mid 90s once again. And then by next Monday, another storm system, another cold front starts to get a little closer to us, putting some rain showers very close to us. I'm very iffy at this point about anything really occurring here because of the fact that, again, the moisture is just going to be so sparse, so there's not that much going on here. Now, as the front tries to come through, and again, taking this forecast with a grain of salt, because none of the other computer models, for the most part, that I've looked at has anything really happening with this system until about, say, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe even into Thursday. So as this system gets a little closer to us, we may see some potential of rainfall out of this, but it's also possible, very possible, as has happened before, in a decently stagnant atmosphere with the front here, the main energy of the storm system way up that direction, that this thing may grind to a halt or even just wash out in the atmosphere. What does that mean? It means this front may have little, if any, chance of actually reaching us here, and unfortunately, we really do not have much of any other better chance of rain after that. Now, hopefully some of this survives. and gives us some chance of rainfall coming up as we go into the middle to end portion of next week, but it really does not look like too much of anything coming up as we go into the next several days. Getting the pupper out for a walk here in the next few hours, again, not bad. Temperatures have been quite pleasant, so you and Fido should not need any rain protection. Thank you very much, Erica Evans from Chickamauga, News 12 viewer, featuring their dog Bear having a nice chaw of the bone on the couch. That's our Rough Cuts dog walking forecast for Thursday. If you'd like to submit your pet pictures, all you have to do is go to wdef.com/dogwalk for more. If you would like to be able to get your pupper on the picture there, would love to have them up there for that. So for tonight and into tomorrow and the next couple of days, autumn starts officially 8:43 a.m. Sunday morning. That's the change in astronomical seasons. This is called the equinox, equal day, equal nighttime for the most part. And temperatures for autumn the first week will be feeling much more like summertime than anything else. So little, if any, chance coming up of a break in the heat until next week, when we don't get cooler per se. We just go closer to actual normal. Normal for this time of the year in this area of the country is about 84 degrees. So we're going to be well over that for much of the rest of the weekend, next week, and maybe toward the end of the week there may be some chances of showers and thunderstorms coming up. Again, we're talking minimal chances here, and I'm not convinced that all of this chance of rainfall is going to survive as it gets closer to this time of the forecast. It all depends on that next cold front arriving that we just showed you on the maps. If that gets its way here, fine and fair enough. But again, I'm really concerned that this chance of rainfall getting dimmer as we go through the next few days makes its way to our forecast here next week. So stay tuned to News 12. We'll keep you updated on those potentials coming our direction, and we'll see what actually heads our way. But for right now, not great news, unfortunately. All right, into the tropics we go, and for the next few days, into the Atlantic. And let me just double check here to see what the National Hurricane Center is saying about this. We technically have 3 active areas taking place. This one over the area close to Bermuda. This one has been raised to a 30% chance of development, and the one here on the right-hand side showing a bit more promise, a bit more structure. This one remains at 30%. This was Tropical Storm Gordon a few days ago. The conditions became less conducive to getting stronger, so this storm system fell apart. It's just been a disorganized mess for the last couple of days. But according to the National Hurricane Center, there is a potential of this reforming and becoming Tropical Storm Gordon all over again. So we'll wait and see as to what that might occur. Into the Gulf of Mexico, and this remains at 40% chance of development. This is one of the stronger areas we've seen in the last several days. So the Western Caribbean, the Southern Gulf, somewhere in this area, there's not an exact marker to show where this is going to form, but somewhere in this area over these unnaturally warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, partially being caused by human-induced fossil fuel-driven climate change, this is where we will possibly see the storm system develop. So what are we actually looking for? If everything works, and if my cursor would behave for a second, there we go. Going into around early in the weekend, we start to see a little bit of low-level spin right into around areas east of Central America, and then with a good flow of moisture and over portions of the Caribbean and right into areas of the central Gulf of Mexico, there is a possibility we could see more of a problem. Let me just get this taken care of here. Wow, that's something that should not be happening. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, so what we're looking for is this system to get Hang on just 2 shakes. I've got to readjust time frames on here manually. I'm the editor, producer, organizer, host of this system. So it looks like this system is going to be somewhere between the Yucatan Peninsula and the Keys. And this is what we could be expecting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday into around next week. That will be the best potential for chances of showers, thunderstorms reaching the Gulf Coast. Now, if everything worked, that would be nice for this to move up our direction and give us a nice soaking from a leftover system, which we did not get from Francine. That would have been very nice. But it looks like the system, guided by our latest possible cold front, will be shepherded out and over the Florida area and up the East Coast. So it's very possible we could see this system making its way up around portions of the area of the East Coast states after it moves through parts of Florida. So we may see this again organized. The problem is, again, the computer models that we follow to make these forecasts, they are all over the place in the Gulf of Mexico. So it could go toward the Bay of Campeche, it could go toward Florida, it could go toward the area around New Orleans and the Mississippi Delta. Way too early to tell for right now, but there are signs that the storm is developing. There's no clear sign that this storm system is actually leaving and going away just yet, or which direction it actually is going to be going. That's what happens with these particular systems. So for right now, the opportunity for us is to again see where the storm goes, how it develops, things like that. So for right now, I think the time frame is going to be next week that we need to pay attention to this. So please keep it tuned to News 12, and we'll let you know more about what to expect with this forecast. Into the next several days, again, this is where we see more problems coming up with the development of these systems, as we are in the peak just after the post-peak period, and we're generally heading downwards with certain peaks upwards on the way down, but we still stand what looks to be a very, very busy season. So keep it tuned to News 12, and we'll keep you updated on to what is coming our direction heading out anytime soon. All right, from preschool to postdoc, getting into Friday. Starting off in the morning, it should be very much on the mild side, but very warm toward the afternoon. Dismissal time going home on Friday. Numbers back in the lower 90s. Heat index numbers should not be too bad, but again, let's maybe keep the extra ice water on hand. It's always nice to remember to stay hydrated, especially as we go out of summer and into autumn coming up in the next several days. So for right now, what we've got is about 2 days and change until the autumn equinox coming up. We're almost there, but the temperatures are not going to want to leave anytime soon. I wish I knew what happened to my school day forecast. I just did the school day forecast. Okay, so that should do it for that. All right, let's take a look at our web poll of the day. You get a better view of this web poll, the picture available on the website and on your mobile device if you want to take a look at it. The picture's up there. It's a picture of what's called a mackerel sky. But what makes up a mackerel sky? What type of clouds? Cirrocumulus, altocumulus, cumulus congestus, or nimbostratus. All of those are real cloud types, and 51% of you said cirrocumulus. Well, this was kind of a double answer because it could be cirrocumulus depending on the height, and then a little lower altocumulus is what is meant by a mackerel sky. So it could be either of these two, but 51% of you got one of those right with cirrocumulus clouds, very high level, fluffier cumulus clouds at a higher altitude. Altocumulus are right below that. Cumulus congestus, what my wife calls Toy Story clouds that you see down toward the surface of the Earth, and nimbostratus, one of the lowest area of rain forming clouds close to the surface of the Earth. Nimbus meaning rain in Latin, stratus meaning layer. So nimbostratus are those flat gray rain-making clouds that you see when the weather is correct. And that, again, was one of the lower clouds, but it could be one of these two. So thank you very much for participating in our web poll of the day. Thanks to friendinroofing.com for being a sponsor, and appreciate everybody for checking in. Weather, sports, all sorts of unique and interesting polls. Go to wdef.com/vote now if you would like to participate in that. And thanks to everybody for stopping by our website to take a look. So out and about in the great outdoors tomorrow, lower 90s, not comfortable. It's going to be hot, downright hot pretty much. 90 to me is about where you start getting into the very hot conditions. Just a quirk of mine to call it that. At some point in time, hot is hot is hot. So just how it feels out there, that can make it tremendously uncomfortable. But lower 90s expected. So out on the golf course, taking a canoe trip, doing some early camping. Be prepared for some very steamy conditions as we get into the next several days, and that is something we all need to be prepared for. Want to tell you again, if you've ever had an interest in getting a degree in meteorology, if you've ever had an interest in safely becoming a storm chaser, a webinar is coming up next week, sponsored by the American Meteorological Society. More at their website at ametsoc.org, and also by the female-led storm chaser group Girls Who Chase. This is some very good star power information from some very experienced ladies regarding career and passion about weather. Ginger Z from ABC News, chief meteorologist there. Elizabeth Lightman, a forecaster for the Storm Prediction Center. Karen Kosiba, the managing director of the Dow facility, that's Doppler on Wheels. That's, again, I would love to know more about that program. And Melanie Metz, who's a veteran chaser and storm photographer. If you have questions, you can submit them. This is not a live interactive panel, but it's more like a Reddit Ask Me Anything type situation. So if you'd like to get your information in, all you have to do is head to our social media pages. You can find the link there, or you can find out more through the AMS Weather Band page. Again, you can reach that through AMETSOC, AMETSOC.org, and that'll be coming up next week, Tuesday the 24th at 1 p.m. if you'd like to take a look at that. Also want to remind you that we have the ability to visit the National Weather Service, an open house coming up next week in Morristown, Tennessee, part of the National Weather Service area that watches the News 12 viewing area. And if you've never been to a National Weather Service before, maybe your kids, your grandkids, maybe you have never been in the National Weather Service and you'd like to see more about what it is like out there, ask questions of the meteorologist, watch a weather balloon launch, learn how products and warnings are issued on the weather wires, how they come to the conclusions that there is a severe weather threat by using Doppler radar. It's all going to be discussed next week. So if you have any plans to attend this, more information on their website down here, and also more information on our website below the forecast at wdef.com/weather. So great opportunity to learn more on that. One final note, as we are getting into that prime season of the year, we've gone past the prime season, January into around May for severe weather. If you've never had the opportunity to become a Skywarn spotter because personal commitments, schedules don't enable you to attend the in-person meeting, the National Weather Service in Morristown has a great idea. Attend the training for being a Skywarn spotter virtually on their website. You can take this Skywarn training, pass the final exam, and then you can be a Skywarn spotter wherever you happen to be. So this is a very convenient, very handy way to be a storm spotter. Find out more again at their website, or go to our website, scroll down beneath the forecast, and find out a lot more about what this program is all about, how you can participate. The more Skywarn spotters we have, the safer we all are, because that helps to be able to be the eyes and ears and brains of the National Weather Service. This is why, very quickly, that type of situation is important, because let's say that we have a storm system rolling through, let's just put it up north around Red Bank or Walden. This is something that we need to pay attention to when it comes to severe weather, because of the fact that this system is passing through. We need more eyes in this particular area. So we start here, and let's say this storm is moving at a pretty good clip. Let's say about 40 miles per hour to the northeast between Middle Valley and Soddy Daisy. All of these areas you see located in the storm list over here, that is where the storm is. That is where the storm is going, or will be going in the next several minutes if we had a storm, which we don't. I want to say that out there. So any of these places, these neighborhoods, these subdivisions that are listed here, that is a place that could be hit by the storm. Now, if you're in down toward Georgia, the Tennessee line, Chattanooga proper, this particular imaginary storm, you have nothing to worry about. So this is a good opportunity, again, where we're on the air with severe weather, tornadoes, severe wind gusts, whatever might flash flooding, things like that. We can tell the people here and over here to get to safety. A lot of this information is plotted using information from Skywarn spotters. So this information that you can help provide, that is something that can really help us out. It can help law enforcement authorities out. It can help emergency managers out to watch these things. And with your information, you can tell them there's baseball-sized hail. There's a rotating wall cloud. We have wind damage. We have power outages. That's what the National Weather Service can use to say the storm is here. It's going here. If you're in this polygon, take shelter now and stay there until we give you the all clear. That is how much Skywarn actually matters. So if you have not taken this course before, please consider doing so. There will be in-person classes coming up October, November, December. That is the fall season for Skywarn training. If there are classes coming up in the News 12 viewing area, we'll be sure to let you know about that. So please keep it tuned to News 12. We could use your help as Skywarn spotters. Please consider becoming a Skywarn spotter. If you're a kid, I have seen kids as young as 8, 9, 10 years old. This class actually gives kids some sense of control over what feels like an uncontrollable situation. So this is your opportunity to find out more and to take the course online. If you can't get to an in-person meeting, find out more at their website or our website, again, below the forecast page. Take the course, pass the quiz, and become a Skywarn spotter as soon as possible. This will really help in your community during times of weather crisis. It can really help to keep people safe and give you a good feeling about helping the community at large. Something to think about very heavily there. If you're in junior high, let me just say one more thing. If you're in junior high or high school, if I was an employer and I saw this on your resume, that would impress me because you took time out of your schedule to learn this and to participate in this situation. That to me says that you are willing to help your community, and that is one more tick box in your pro column to say that's why I should be hired. This right here is a great volunteer opportunity, so please, please, please consider this. Again, kids, older kids, about 10, maybe up and higher, any age can be a Skywarn spotter. You don't have to be law enforcement. You don't have to be an amateur radio operator, but it does help on stuff like that to pass the information along. So please consider that if you would be so kind. All right, that should do it for tonight. We've been on for just about a half an hour, so we've just about hit our target time on there. Don't want to put everybody to sleep, so want to make certain that everybody is getting back for more information. Chip Chapman will have your forecast bright and early tomorrow morning, starting at 5 a.m. on the morning show, and we'll have more details about time saver traffic and all sorts of things from the news overnight. I'll have more details on your weekend forecast, Friday Night Football, coming up on News 12 tomorrow, Friday evening, so please join me for that. Thanks for joining us on Thursday night, live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, at the WDEF News 12 studios. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. Stay tuned for much more with News 12 on air and online. And again, thanks for joining us for Thursday.